It's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're gonna be watching and reacting to DBG's video titled "What Happened to My Team." Now, obviously, guys, my team this year has been interesting, and DBG has been really not, I would say, less into it as in the past, or cares about it less, or I don't know, cares about it, but less active maybe, and maybe that's my team, maybe that's him, I don't necessarily know, but I'm really eager to hear his thoughts on what happened to my team. It is a 30-minute video, so hey, I'm not going to speak too much before the video or after the video. I want to get into the meat and potatoes. Smash that subscribe button on my channel, as well as his channel. It will be down below in the description.
What is going on, guys? DBG here, and I made a video a couple of days ago entitled it like the truth about NBA 2K24 my team, and things have even changed in the past like 4 days. I've never seen anything like it before, and like I made a video, and like if you look at my video about an hour ago, to be fair, I will say the end of that video kind of is bleeding into this video. I do want to split them up because they're two entirely different points.
Okay.
The point of that video was that this is the worst week of content we've ever had. Because
is that valid? I think it's valid. If you look at the content we got this week, it was really rough. It was really rough. Now, obviously, Joe Johnson was in there this week, yes, and so that obviously is a big time thing. But outside of that, it was rough.
Because all 8 cards. Like sweet out, we got 8 cards this week.
He's tweeting while making a video. That's next level DBG.
This week in my team. Or we got 9 cards. Sorry, we got 9 cards this week in my team. 1 was free, but barely usable.
I don't even hate. Look. I don't hate Juan Toscano as much as a lot of people do. I'll be honest. I don't hate him that much.
The other 8 cost over 112k empty. Like, it's just, if you want to interact with my team, you've got to spend 200k a week. If you want to have fun. And it depends, sorry.
I mean, not necessarily.
If you want to try out new cards. Because that's always my idea of fun. Like, if you guys look back on previous years, if you guys want to look back, especially at me, and you guys might be saying, oh, you just like to complain. No, I complain with reason.
Okay.
I complain with reason. I thought it was awful this time last year. And I want to look back at 2K22 because I think 2K23 was terrible as well. So I want to look at 2K22 around this time.
That's valid, because last year was really bad.
Like, this weekend, we got Ha-Sung Jin, Eric Snow. Do you guys not remember how
Is that glitch set? I'm pretty sure that was the glitch set.
We loved Ha-Sung Jin and Eric Snow. Like, David Robinson, Trae Young, and Klay Thompson were there for the ballers.
Trae Young is
spend their money. For budget guys like myself, I loved Ha-Sung Jin. I thought Ha-Sung Jin was so fun. Eric Snow was my starting point guard. Those guys were 3k each.
And that's valid because those guys, I don't know if they play, but were featured on a lot of no money spent type of squads too. So that's valid.
Glenn Rice, 6,000 MT Amethyst. I liked them. I enjoyed using the card.
And this video is valid. We did not get any budget cards.
Was when we had a
and we really haven't all year.
80 speed, 73 ball with huge player build. 7-1. I love that card. So while I could never, you're talking to someone that could never afford the top cards in these games. I couldn't. I was never able to afford the best of the best.
Okay, that's valid.
2K. And I just accepted that for what it is. But there was always something for me. There was always something. I could always go and look on a Tuesday and see a primetime set and see a cheap Nick Batum out there and see a Robert Covington, knowing I'm never going to be able to get NBA 75th Moses Malone or Moment Stephen Curry. But I knew that when I saw like a nice Ruby card, I'd be able to pick him up.
And I mean, is 2K thinking that the Tournament Battles collection is that, which it's fine, But until those players could get better and better, I mean, that's not really what we're looking for.
Because those Ruby cards would be 4,000 MT.
So, I mean, if you wanted to look at, okay, well, we maybe got budget cards. It's with the tournament battle set. That's it.
Rubies are 50k right now. And you might be saying, oh, but like it's easier to make MT. Not 10 times easier. You get 4,000 for a domination game instead of 2,000. Wow, you get double, or like, instead of like 1,700, you get double the amount. But it's
Basically
like, if you're playing like a vault, if you're playing clutch, anything with a vault, the vault doesn't open. You get less rewards for each game. As far as like vaults, wheels, and everything, you get less in each game. The CPU is
DBG's making me on, man.
harder, so the games take longer. So, if I played TTO for 2 hours this year, I'd make probably 1.5 times what I did last year.
That is probably valid. That's probably valid. I mean, I don't think I can argue that. It's probably valid.
But if I played TTO for 2 hours last year, I'm able to buy
It's true.
3 new cards from the set. If I had 0 MT, if I genuinely...
Now, with what he is saying, with what his mindset is, you're never gonna have an elite team. Okay, that's just part of it. You're never just gonna have that elite team because, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. DBG does not play the game enough to ever have an elite team. He doesn't play the game that much at all, at least as far as I know. And so that's the big thing is like, I feel like right now it's easier to have the top team than in past years, but there's no in-between real stage. Like, even my no money spent, it's basically the top team. Like, there's no real budget ballers. Obviously, the Evos, maybe when there's some good ones will be, but I get what he's saying.
Let's just say I had like a couple of like cheap players and free players, and I brought myself down to 0 MT. Every Friday, in the history of my team, I could play 2 hours of TTO and be able to buy the 3 cheapest cards in the Friday set.
It's valid. I can't argue that. That's valid.
And they'd all be passable. And when I mean cheapest decent ones. So like we want to look at say 2K22, and you might be saying, oh, but like some of them were Sapphires. They were 1,000 MT. If there were Sapphires, we'd be able to get the 5 cheapest. So let's look at Mystic. November the 24th. Mystic packs. I'm gonna bring these onto screen.
Yeah,
right now.
That's what I want to. I want to see them.
And you might be saying, "Oh, but you can't look back. This mode's not like them." No, these modes were 100 times better. Don't like I don't want to embarrass 2K with how much better these modes were. And this wasn't even. Look, we liked this content at the time. 2K22.
I'm not gonna lie. DBG has a valid point with this because I think and I think honestly, even if 2K wants to make it no auction house, they've got to give us some sort of budget options. They have to. Because, like, if you look at this Mystic set, where this is a good example. DeJounte Murray was great. Wang was immaculate. Eddie Jones was fantastic. And then you had stuff for the all money spent. You had Hakeem, who was great. You had, obviously, the Giannis, who was fantastic. Harden was so good. I mean, it's valid.
Had a bad spell. Good. Bad start. Really good season 2 when they changed the 100 and brought in the whatever was it called, Gauntlet, or after you won you completed the 12 and 4 award when it became 12 and 4 and 12 no. But like, I'm just showing you guys this set right here. You guys remember,
and then you even had John Isaac.
Remember some of these cards, don't you? You guys remember the Big Wong. You guys remember Jonathan Isaac. If you guys played,
I can't fault this. This is absolutely valid.
DeJounte was a beast.
I can't fault
Dino Raja was an absolute beast. Eddie Jones. Do you guys not remember Hall of Fame Interceptor Eddie Jones?
It's valid.
So, you see all of these cards right here. They're all obsolete in today's game because now they're focusing on only the top 2 tiers. We got nothing.
And
so you might be saying, oh, but like...
And I agree. Like, I don't even think it has to do with the auction house or the player percentage. I think we just need more Sapphire and Emerald budget cards in my team. I do. I think that would fix a lot. But they have to be decent, too.
We got all those budget cards last week.
And I will say the Evos, they have potential. I'll say that.
The only card that even compares to these guys is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And I want to see, like, we're looking at player market. We're going to look for a competent player under 20,000 MT, not named Kentavious Caldwell-Pope or, you know what, Bobby Portis is okay.
I mean, yeah, with the NBA battle stuff, you can name some guys. Because even like Derek White, he's competent. I mean, he is.
100K.
But I fully get what DBG is saying.
Like 2 of these that are good. None of these guys are good. that are lower. None of these guys are good. None of these.
Unselled's not bad, but he's, I mean, too expensive. But the whole thing with Unseld is he's free too. So I mean, that's not even an accurate representation of what we're
obviously
getting
other
at
than
here.
the final rewards. Any Sapphires are lower that are any good. I mean, he's passable.
I mean, no, he's not very
That's
good.
it. All 100k. It's the most expensive card in the game. No. And if you guys are wondering why I'm making that point, but let's just say 20,000 MT then is, or now is 12,000 MT then.
Yeah, that's valid.
1.5k, 1.5k, 3.5k. And I remember him going up to like 6k MT at his max. 1.5k, 1.5k, 3.5k. He could shoot the lights out as well.
Okay, what we're not gonna do here is we're not gonna sit here and gas Ruby Del Curry. That's not what we're gonna do. He was not good. We're not gonna do that. No. Your points are valid, but that's something we're just not gonna do. We're not gonna do that. No.
God tier.
No. Del Curry
he was actually
mid.
expensive. He was 2.5k.
Yeah,
I think DeJounte and Dino Raja were 6k.
They were cheap.
He was probably
They were
about
cheap.
15k. So you could get Dino Raja, DeJounte Murray, Wang Zhizhi, Del Curry, Jonathan Isaac, Troy Daniels, and Sim Bular.
I get it, man.
All of those
And it's valid. It is absolutely valid.
No, actually, sorry. You could get DeJounte, Wong, Del Curry, Isaac.
He's gassing
Daniels,
this
and
Del Curry card,
You get
though.
all
I
of
don't
those
like
cards
that. I don't like that he's
for the
gassing
same
Del
price
Curry.
as,
Like Aaron
I don't
Aflalo.
know, this Gary Payton.
And Gary Payton's good. Don't get it twisted, right? Gary Payton's good. But when we talk about budget cards this year, we've literally had to change the terminology to what is a budget card. Like in the past, a budget card was like 10,000 max. This year, it's like 20,000. And it's just crazy. And there's not many budget cards.
Bomb Dion Waiters.
There's just
They're
no good cards.
For the amount of time it takes to get Joe Smith, who's actually one of the better rubies. Just a ruby. For the amount of time...
I think Joe Smith's the deal of the day today, if I'm not mistaken, by the way. But I still don't think deal of the days are worth it, because what is the point? You're still going to lose a ton of MT by buying them and selling them back. So
in previous games, you could have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards. The third best shooting guard in the game. One of the better point guards in the game. If you're looking at DeJounte, this would be a top 2 point guard in the game right now if he was in it. One of the best centers in the game, one of the best small forwards in the game.
Every point DBG is making right now, I agree with every single one. Every one of them.
It takes playing the game to get one.
Every one of them I agree with.
And people don't understand. Like, I've heard people genuinely argue, being like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy 1 diamond this week, and then next week I'll have enough from playing the game to get another diamond." But I'm like, okay, you play 3 hours of the game a day, and you can get 1 card a week. That's kind of a sad life, isn't it? Like, fair enough, you're doing what you're doing, but I'm like,
compared to the past, it is sad.
Top tier card, maybe this year's better. Because again, I'll say it, like,
I get what DBG is saying, though.
8 million. Realistically, he went for like 600k. He was like 800k. He was like 100.
But what 2K needs to realize is the big ballers are still gonna be the big ballers. Like, I think that's what 2K needs to realize. Like, I would still run Giannis over Dino on my good account. Like, it's not gonna change that much.
He was like 30. He was probably like 150.
James Harden was good though, man. That James Harden
probably
was
600k.
nasty.
So like, you were never able to afford these guys. But like, the way I used to play the game was, I would just buy all of these guys here, and then the next week, I would play a little bit of the game.
It's valid.
And then I would sell off all the cards I didn't want, and then we get to the next week, and I would take a look at the prime time and be like, you know what, I kind of want Evan Fournier. I go and buy Fournier. I buy James Wiseman, and when it then came to the actual like one here, start of season 3, this was a bad week because all these guys were.
But even the Caruso could play, you know, like, sure, he wasn't great for a budget baller, but he was cheap enough and he could play. And that's my whole thing. At least we were getting some budget options, at least every single week, even if this wasn't a good drop.
Bums, no one wanted any of these other than maybe Caruso. We then get into the next week and iced out, and I'm like, cool, I want Paul Larson. I got my 10,000 MT. I got Hito. And then
Bill Russell was cheap too.
You go from a couple of weeks playing the game because you're only losing a little bit in tax from just constantly buying and selling lower tier cards. Suddenly then you're on 70, 80k MT and you can build up to like a pink diamond. And suddenly you're able to just try out a whole bunch of...
I don't know though if like, are you able to ever really, if you just keep buying and selling and barely play the game, you're still probably not building up that much MT, at least in my opinion.
Cards and play with a whole bunch of new cards. This year's game, you can't do that. If I want to try out Rashard Lewis,
it's valid.
If, let's just say I had 112,000 MT. If this was last year, you could buy Rashard Lewis if he was 112k. You could sell him back for 112k. You would get 100k back, and you play the game.
I mean, you'd probably lose 20k after, you know, the time you try him out, especially if it's on day one. But whatever.
For a little bit of time, and you can go and try out Hito. Or you can buy both of these, sell both of them, and then the next week try out the new Amethyst cards. But in this year's game, you can't do that. If you buy one of these cards, it's another 7 hours of playing the game to get another one. So it's like... It's literally... It's encouraging two things. It's encouraging either spending all your money on content or not interacting with content. It's encouraging one of the two things.
It's valid because even when I used to play the game, right, and I wasn't like a content creator, I wasn't like, you have fun with budget cards, you do. So his point is valid. It's valid.
You're either not interacting, you're either draw, and this is the problem with the game this year, is it's doing two things. It's keeping the addict hooked. The people that are addicted to MyTeam, the people that play this game all the time are hooked. Whether that be playing all the time to try get these cards, or whether that be putting their real money in the game. And in an ideal situation, all the guys that are playing the game all the time, eventually, from playing the game so much, they get burnt out, so that they make one of two. They make the choice to spend money. But the issue is that with the way this game is, it forces people to make one of two choices: to stop playing or to spend money. And in reality, if people who've already paid for the game and aren't intending to spend money on this game mode stop playing, it does not hurt 2K's pockets one bit. But if there are 5 people and 4 of them who have spent money and they're going to be no money spent, if in other years these 5 people were no money spent, guys, and just kind of chipped away, did their own thing, no money spent, if out of those 5 people 4 of them quit and one of them is converted into saying, screw this, I'm enjoying playing the game, let me just buy a bunch of cards with real money, 2K have won. And that's... I don't think that's their entire goal.
But have they... But let me ask you this. Let me phrase it a little different. Have they won? From a PR perspective, from a people buying the game in the future perspective, from friends playing the game together perspective, have they really won? Because I'm just going to bring up something, right? When I was in high school, I used to play the games my friends play, right? And so if a friend was in Madden Ultimate Team, I'd be more likely to be an Ultimate Team. Now, obviously, in high school, that's one thing. I'm probably not going to spend money on the game, or at least that much back then. But I'm just saying the more people that play the game together, the better off you are. For example, I had a friend that literally made a build and bought VC just so he could play with me, and he didn't even really love playing 2K, but I played it and he wanted to play with me. That's the same type of thing I have, right, with my team. The more people on the game, the more people playing the game, the more people having fun with the game, the better off the game is as a whole. I get it. Yes, this year they might be making more money. But if more and more people are getting burnt out of the game, if less and less people are interacting with content, interacting with the game, is that really winning? I don't know.
I really don't.
I don't know. I just don't know if that's true.
That is what's happened.
Like, his point is valid, but I just don't know if that's winning.
I cannot stress it enough that, like, people are always saying stuff like, but like 2K, why would 2K ever change? And I get it. I'm not making this video to say 2K should change, because at the end of the day, they released the biggest load of crap they've ever released as far as MyTeam is concerned, and they've made record profits. Nothing's ever going to change. But there's also no point in just staying silent, because nothing's ever going to change.
But again, my whole point is 2K In my opinion, yes, they're a for-profit company. They want profit, but at the end of the day, they want people playing the game too. Like there's two sides of this. Like it's not just they don't want to push consumers away or potential consumers. Like I said, when I was a high schooler, maybe I wouldn't have spent money, but maybe I had a friend that wanted to play with me that would spend money on my team. You know, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, good publicity and more people playing your game is in the long run gonna make you more money. I don't know.
Is there? Is there? Because, again, I said this in the video earlier. I've never seen people so blindly defend a company for screwing out over their consumers. Like, this is objectively worse than how they ended last year. It is. There's no argument. You might be saying, oh,
Man,
but like...
I don't know. Last year with incorrectly banning people for long periods of time. I mean, with kicking everybody out of two. I don't know, man. Last year, I don't think they could do worse than last year. I think it's literally impossible. But from a fun MyTeam mode perspective, I get it.
Everyone be like, oh, the MT sites, you guys did it. Hell no, we didn't. That's what the bans were for. What 2K did at the end of last year, by giving people the opportunity to buy cards for $50, they saw it worked, so they doubled down on it and said, let's give people the opportunity to buy everyone with real money, and let's get rid of the auction house.
Which I don't, at the end of the day, mind, but there has to be some cheaper options. There has to be more emeralds. There has to be more sapphires in the game, in general. There can't just be a week like this in which we get all ruby and aboves, or even amis and aboves. We need even decent budget golds, man. 2K would still make their money. Like, they would. And just think about it. If those are the options, then either way, if a card is 10,000 MT and then you use it for a week and you sell it back for 5,000 MT, that's fine. Nobody would care that much about the tax at the end of the day then.
And what getting rid of the auction house did, the big problem with getting rid of the auction house is, by the way, it's nothing to do with these cards. But there are a couple of things. One, you can't get playbooks, you can't get coaches, you can't get any of these cards.
I mean, I get it, but
you can't get jerseys. Like, that is a big problem.
That's a problem. I agree.
The biggest problem with not having the auction house is it's nothing to do with these cards right here, because these cards are more affordable.
They are, 100%. There's just no budget cards. And I get their playoff set. That is budget cards. But it's over, like, the games happen over the course of like, multiple weeks. And so by the time any of those guys are decent, it's going to be a month down the road.
For Giannis than it would have been last year. But, you see these cards right here? They would have been, to be fair, some of them would be cheap. They would have been way cheaper. Like, you see 13.8k. That would have been the most expensive one. That would have been your Contavious Caldwell Pope.
But it's not the DBG. What you're failing to understand is these cards are eventually going to be diamonds, and they're not increasing the price. So for these, I don't have a problem with it. I don't. That was like that. How else do you do it? I don't necessarily know. Sure, they could make some cards cheaper and some cards more expensive. But this is not like this. I don't have a problem with. I have a problem with emeralds for 5K not being in just normal packs. This is fine, whatever, because KCP as a sapphire is going to be good. And you guys got to realize when KCP becomes a AMI, he's going to be elite.
But then
even for 13K,
you'll be seeing like
he's
Josh
elite.
Okogie.
Josh Okogie's
2,000 MT.
Josh Okogie's fine. Chill.
Norma Powell is released on slow. 900 MT. So all of these cards would be so much cheaper. You see this Aaron Gordon card right here? Man. If this was last year, this card is 18,000 MT.
Valid.
Corey Maggette, 22,000 MT. John Wall would have been about 400,000 MT. So yes, John Wall would have been more expensive. So I get it. But you see, he's 175,000 VC. Why not literally put a freaking max price on these guys? Why not do a FIFA didn't put in price ranges? That is 100 times better. The player market solves one problem.
But DBG
inflating the top tier.
Let me ask you this, DBG. Let me ask you this. Is that gonna fix buying MT? No. You can put a max for a player. That's not gonna fix everything. There's gonna be ways around it. No matter if there's an auction house in my team, the MT sites will run the game. They will. There's no way around that. There just isn't. There's no way around that. 2K tried to ban it and fix it last year. Obviously, they couldn't. There's no way around it. There isn't. There's no way around that. So that's like the problem I have with it. They just need to greatly, in my opinion, improve this greatly. So make it like, I don't know, somehow supply and demand. But I don't know how that works. I'm just saying, you put an auction house in the game. I mean, shoot. I don't even want to begin. And it's more so I like the auction house, man. But it's the fact of the matter is we saw it control the game. You can't have John Wall would literally be 600K. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's pros and cons to it. Obviously, I agree. I want budget players. I want a guy like Corey Maggette to be way cheaper. I'm just saying, man, I don't think that's going to work.
Your cards to ludicrous amounts. It solves one problem.
But it's a big problem.
It creates 100 more. There is no reason for me to have played this game the last week. Juan Toscano Anderson isn't even an interesting card. He's a 6'5" small forward.
Okay, that's valid, but he's not horrible.
I don't mind that he's in the game. I kind of like the fact he's in the game. I just don't care.
He's not horrible.
Juan Toscano Anderson is a 6'5" small forward.
Yeah.
Well, only 6'6" small forward.
Read his stats.
Like, he is completely fine.
Yes.
And you know what? As far as the content is concerned, if this was another year, I would have probably been a bit more excited about Juan Toscano.
See, Juan is not bad. Thank you. He was slandering my man Juan earlier in the video, and I was like, Juan is not even that bad.
That's an equivalent of a Moments card last year.
He's not that bad.
But, like...
Speaking of, where are the Moments cards? Hello, 2K. Where they at? We've seen some pretty big moments, and we've gotten nothing.
We had 10 cards this week. One of them is unattainable. One of them is free and barely usable. 8 of them are 112,000.
I agree. I agree.
Like, what are we meant to do? Like, what are we actually meant to do as players?
I agree.
There's just... I've never seen it this bad.
This week was bad.
And
I feel like a lot of it is they're for the budget players. They really wanted this NBA set to be like the budget player, but we need more. Like that doesn't solve it all, especially when the games are so spread out. It's not gonna work.
Are people defending this? Because, like, again, I understand that, like, 2K had to do something with the MT bots. They actually did. And you know what? I'm putting it out there right now. 2K did an unbelievable job with the MT bots last year. They did. Like, if you want to look at, let's just say we go into the next set. Other than Victor Wembanyama, who's a million MT, and that was nothing to do with the MT bots. He was just going to be a million MT. And everyone wanted to buy him at real money anyway. You're looking at, like, every single next card was 10,000 MT. Like, do you guys not remember this?
And I agree. I agree, man. We need something like that. And maybe with the bans last year, I mean, I know for a fact I got banned and I probably wouldn't have bought MT again. And maybe that's what it was, but I don't know. It ran the game for such a long time.
Like, this was one of the most exciting days we've had in so long in MyTeam, was this next set.
Everybody was
because Brandon
cheap.
Miller, Kaysen Wallace,
Everybody was
Anthony
cheap.
Black, Cam Whitmore, Grady,
The Thompsons were
Jarvis
good
Walker,
too.
Keontae George, and the two Thompsons. They maxed out at 30,000 MT. And by the end of, like, the weekend, they were all 10,000 MT or under. So everybody's using these cards, and everybody has all these cards, and it's fun. When people can get good, affordable cards, they have fun.
It's valid.
And do people not realize how important that is?
I agree. Yes, this is where I'm coming to, DBG. I don't think it's in 2K's best interest to just focus solely on money. I don't. Because guess what, guys? The less fun the overall community has in this game mode, the worse it's going to get. Worse. That's all I'm going to say. The worse it's going to get. And so, yeah, money is important, but you want people to have fun, too. You do.
And, like, even you see, like, I understand, but, like, after with the elemental packs, Jordan was expensive. This Jordan was expensive. Obviously, Manute Bol was unattainable. Who the fuck needed Manute Bol? Manute Bol was unattainable, cool. But Karl-Anthony...
Man, that dude Manute Bol was 5 mil. That was crazy.
Towns, Kyle Kuzma, Jalen Williams, Steve Nash, Jeff Green, Mo Bamba.
Mo Bamba was
Peter
elite.
Douglas was expensive. Jay Crowder,
Mo
Malachi
Bamba was
Brown.
elite,
They were all
man.
cheap.
Mo Bamba
All
was
of these
so
guys
good.
were so cheap.
He was so good.
Heroic set. Karis LeVert was 2,000 MT.
Sabonis was cheap, too.
So was Thaddeus Young.
Sabonis was cheap.
Arvydas Sabonis was like 15K. Like,
He's looking way later in the year, though. I mean, it's not really a good comparison. But yes, those cards were fun.
What has happened? They've literally, this card will be cheaper than it was last year. But everything else is twice as expensive and people are just smiling and are happy. Because I don't care. Like, everyone who knows me knows that my whole thing with this is to make my team as accessible as possible. That is where every one of my arguments comes from. If you want to look at almost all of my arguments, every single argument I have had talks about the accessibility of the MyTeam mode.
Because the whole thing goes back to this, right? I even had a friend yesterday come over. He played MyTeam in the past, hasn't played it this year. First question he asked is, does MyTeam still have a draft mode? Now let me ask you guys this. Did you enjoy the draft mode? Probably not. If you're watching my videos, you probably didn't enjoy the draft mode because you're really invested in MyTeam. But for the casuals, they enjoy that. For me, that was my favorite mode in MLB The Show and Madden, was the draft mode. That was one of the only reasons I even bought those games, was because of the draft mode. And it's crazy because the MyTeam draft mode was not fun. It wasn't good. It didn't work. But it's crazy. That's the first question. And if they don't have the draft mode and it's not accessible, what is a casual 2K player supposed to do? What are they supposed to do?
I went to my grave, as much as people hated this, I went to my grave defending the 3x-player cards. Because people who wanted Zion Williamson could use Zion Williamson. People who wanted Giannis could use Giannis. If you want a KD or LeBron, you could use a KD or LeBron. Would they be the best? No. But you could use an Amethyst. And when you got more MT, you could upgrade it to a Diamond.
The three of the same cards? I don't know about this, DBG. I don't know about this.
Because a lot of casual players they see a Michael Jordan 91 overall. They don't care that 91 overall Michael Jordan is worse than
this is valid,
a 91 overall Wesley Person.
This is valid.
They see Jordan, they're like, ooh, he's a 91 overall. But like Wesley Person at 91 overall is in fact one of the best cards in the game.
Wesley
Person, they don't care. They're going to use the Michael Jordan. The problem is this year you can't use Michael Jordan. Like and that's going to turn people off the game. Everything in this game is designed to turn people that don't want to spend money off the game. And my argument is like, oh, people that spend all their time or all their money. The problem is that when the people that spend all their time on this game are going to burn out eventually, and those guys are either going to quit or spend money.
DBG, this is one of the best videos you've ever made.
A lot of times they're addicted, they're going to spend money. And that's where the issue lies. There is no reason for a new person without big pockets to come into this game mode. I cannot, in good faith, argue for this game, for anyone to play this game mode. And, like, it's bad. And, like, last year, I was saying, and I was like, look, I wasn't going this extreme. I was saying, like, look, it's very hard. I probably wouldn't come into this game mode if you guys are just starting out. But if we want to look what happened on the 14th of November, so 4 days from now, was a free pink diamond Joel Embiid card who you could get in 30 minutes. We're not getting this. We're not getting this year.
I mean, we don't have pink diamonds yet, but I mean, if they drop somebody like that, that would be fire.
A free diamond Joel Embiid. And heck, we're not even going to get a moments card this year. It's just not going to happen. And we've had enough huge games. They're not going to give us moments cards. They don't care. They don't care enough. And if they do, it'll cost money. This is the least accessible my team has ever been. And as somebody who directly makes money from people playing this game, it's really hard. It's really hard. People are like, oh, we make more positive content. Fuck off. No, I'm not. I'm going to talk about this game mode. I'm going to talk about this game mode in a way that this game mode should be talked about. I don't give a damn. I've burned all my bridges anyway. I don't give a damn what I say. I will gladly go to my grave defending things that I like from these games. There is nobody that defended Stellar Packs harder. There is nobody that defended Season 7 harder than me last year. There are certain decisions that 2K make that I will defend. And I think that it's a better that not having to gamble is a good alternative? Yeah, I do. I really do.
It is. I just think the whole thing is we just need more emeralds and sapphires that aren't crazy expensive, even golds, man. That's all I need.
I do want to say that is like
good budget
I'm not
cards.
going to call 2K a gambling simulator anymore. And as far as like ethically playing this game, I feel ethically it's not as bad. A money pit is not as bad as a casino. I'm just gonna say it right now. As far as their ways of making money, if they're making more money with the money pit than a casino, ethically, you know what? I actually think it's better. I do think it's better that this game is a money pit rather than it's a casino.
Okay, that's probably valid.
Again, fight to the grave on that one. That just
probably valid.
As far as ethics for players, like,
because at least you know what you're doing. You know what you're getting.
I'm not gonna literally say like I did last year that I wouldn't, if I had kids, I wouldn't let them play these game modes. I would have absolutely no issue, but I just see the thing. There's no point. Like, there's no ethical. I don't have an ethical issue with this game mode, whereas I did last year, because it was just became a gambling simulator. I don't have any ethical issues with this game mode. I just think there's no point. And like, if me, somebody who literally makes money off this,
there isn't.
Like, this is my job right now. Like, obviously, you guys, if you guys don't know, like, I've been seeing the end coming for years. I'm doing a master's. Like, I'm gonna be, it's not gonna be my job for long, and I kind of accepted that a couple of years back. So look, I'm doing enough. When it ends, it ends. Like, it is what it is.
Which is just so sad. It's so sad. It's sad. This is sad. And you want to know why it's sad? Because it's so easily preventable, man. Forget all the stuff about, oh yeah, the community used to be this, the community used to be that. You want to know why? Because everybody could have fun playing the game. And sure, a lot of it had to do with being able to buy MT, because the top guys could still get those top cards easily. But guess what? Those guys can still get those top cards if they want to buy them or grind the game a ton. But the whole thing is, there is no budget alternative. There isn't at all. There's no cheap cards. Even if you look at my No Money Spent Squad series, it's all cards that you have to grind. Yes, grindable content is fine. It's good. But the fact of the matter is, there's no cheap cards directly viable via the player market. That's an issue. It's a big issue.
But it's like JD's gone. The amount of guys that were full-time that are no longer full-time just because they cannot survive making content.
Which is sad.
And the fact is that there is one person, 1.5 people that are able to make decent livings off this game mode, and it's Henry and JD. But like, it's just a sad position this game has gone into. That like, for an entire week, the only content that I can really care about, because like, look, I'm not good enough to get Joe Johnson. I'm not gonna even bother getting him because I'm not good enough. The only content that I can interact with in any way, because I'm not spending money and I'm not wasting 100,000 MT because I can't sell the cards back and I'm gonna lose everything in tax, is a Ruby 1 Toscano Anderson. That's all this week. It's the only point of logging in this week was a Ruby 1 Toscano Anderson.
And I mean, Juan was fine, but again, that's just a grindable card. Like, it's one card. Yes, it's fine. Even Joe Johnson, it's fine. But where's like a, man, I'm just gonna throw out a name. Where's an Emerald? Again, I'm just looking at it. Where's an Emerald Travion Grant? Where is those type of cards, man? Where's the Emerald Charlie Villanueva? Like, those cards would help. Those cards would help, man. Say what you want, they would help.
It is.
They would help.
I didn't think it was ever gonna get this bad. But
this video is good, man. This video is good, man.
But
this video is good. It's a good video.
Let me know what you guys think. Like, I literally had to make 2 of these videos in a week. I'm just rambling at this stage.
But it's valid. It's valid.
It's just so bad that I'm like...
And I would tell you, because I stick up for this game mode more than about anybody this year, but his points are valid, and it's true. It is true. For the accessibility in this game is at an all-time low. It is. All-time low.
I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't even know what to say, because 2K actually came out with a gameplay-wise much better game.
This gameplay is so much better.
And like, I spent so much money on this game. I've spent the best part of $1,000 on this game already. And you might be saying, oh, you're the problem. But at the end of the day, I need to spend that money to make some money. Because if I'm not spending money in this game, how the fuck am I going to do anything? I'm not the TyDeBo. I'm not good enough to be out there cucking online with bums.
Man, even for me, it's hard though, DBG. Like, I didn't buy Giannis, man, and it's hard because it's like I wanted to do all those gameplays, but at some point you got to draw a line in the sand. Like, I mean, sure, I would love it, but it's like, man, I'm gonna be spending money every week, and it's like,
yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. It is the worst 2K game ever. And do I think something changes later on in the year? Yeah. And when I think this game mode is worth playing, will I be back to making 4 videos a day? Yeah, I think I will. If this mode ever becomes worth playing, I think I'll be back making content consistently. But the problem is going to be is that things are going to get worse. So you see these on the player market. Season 3 is going to launch with Pink Diamonds. Then Pink Diamonds are going to be $345K.
I literally just want some budget options, man.
Diamonds are going to be down to $200K. Amethyst might be down to $75K. And then Amethyst are going to be the cheapest players in new sets.
See, that's the issue.
So if you have less than
that's the issue.
$75K per player, you're not going to be able to pay. Like, it's going to take about 75 hours to make a team of 10 of the cheapest players. And it's going to be the same once Opals come out, which are probably going to release at $450K in Season 4. And then all the Opals are going to be that. And it's just, like, this set's $400K. This set's $100 to lock in. Sets are going to soon be up to that. There's a reason why 700K VC is an option to buy this year. 700K is what cards you're going to top out at. You're going to be seeing lock-ins for Victor Wembanyama at 700K.
It's true because we're already spending $150 for Giannis and Shaq, so it's true.
Quid. And it's only going to get more expensive. There's going to be 5 by 150 quid lock-ins for your 99 Victor Wembanyama. You're not going to get your cheap 99s anymore. Like, coming into May, June, maybe May, June, but like coming into like April, May, you're not going to get your 25K Desmond Banes anymore. Nah, that's a 200K Desmond Bain. It's just, the game started off not bad, but I just knew it was going to go down this way. I could feel this mode getting worse, and like, I knew the potential that 2K had with killing this mode. And on day one, when everyone was like, oh no, we need to give this a try, this is a W, I was like, no, trust me, it's not going to be. On day one, I was probably one of 25 people who were like, no, this is going to be a disaster. And my exact reasons for thinking this game mode is going to be a disaster has been basically proven true. It's been proven true. I've been priced out. I'm somebody that is that at one stage that is probably willing to spend. I'm not joking. If I felt 300 quid a month was enough for me to be able to make content and do enough stuff, if I felt that putting in 300 quid a month was enough to do it, I would do it. I genuinely think 600 a month to make content, to be able to make content at the rate that I do with all the other stuff in my life, I think 600 quid a month is not enough. It's not enough. And that is scary to me. That is scary.
Scary and sad, and that there's no alternative.
So I've decided, because a money that I'm willing to put in was 300 a month, I don't think it's even going to get me close to the content I want. I'm done. I'm just finito. I don't care. I don't care. If there are cards in my price range, I'll make videos on them. If there aren't, screw it. Thank you guys for watching.
Shout out DBG, man. It's sad. It's sad. And that's a good video and a lot of great points that honestly, like, for me, sometimes I don't even think about. Like, even though my no money spent, I think, yeah, my team's good, but how many of those cards are via the player market? That's the big problem. None of them. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.